her the chance to tell me everything that she's ever had to tell me about me. Get bold, you had all of these things to say. Oh, she's a hoe. She's messing with his friend, she's doing this, she's doing that. Tell it. Doug Christie has always been the kind of guy who steers clear of drama. Doug built a reputation as a family-first man. Unlike many NBA players, he was famous for his loyalty, absence of cheating scandal, and absence of controversy. Just a man who kept his focus on basketball and his family members. If you followed Doug and Jackie throughout the years, you know that their marriage has always made headlines. They have tough rules, some of which some find excessive. Jackie accompanies Doug everywhere. They renew their vows every year, and they always present a united front to outsiders. It seemed to be the perfect tale of love. Growing up in the midst of all of this, their daughter Chantel saw her parents have nearly unbreakable relationship. She did her job for years. But eventually there were flaws. Chantel began making choices that weren't always following the Christie family's rules. And most recently, she did something which Doug didn't agree with. Doug Christie finally lost it for the first time, and his recent revelation is changing the way that individuals perceive his ideal household. That Jackie and the relationship of her daughter were tension. I was unaware to the degree of the extent, such as the harm that she caused to me and to the relationship of my sister. She will not even accept responsibility for now. It is like a pretender. I must continue speaking with you. So you will not speak about me on Twitter and speak about me on Facebook, and relate sincerely. She does not care why. Why else would you talk about your daughter in this way for decades? Doug and Jackie Christie have struggled to establish the perfect couple. Their relationship stood out from other NBA couples, as can be seen through their annual vow renewals and strict marital requirements. No cheating scandals or public arguments, just uncompromising devotion, which was strongly helped by Jackie's very strong desire to keep their marriage intact when it came to Doug. Jackie was known to set strict boundaries. She was with him everywhere, attending events, games, and interviews. She had a watchful eye on who he mingled with, and made sure that there were no external influences on their union. Doug and Jackie never flinched in the presence of public opinion. They unashamedly stood their ground in defense of their own unique approach to life, despite the fact that some thought their love and devotion were wonderful, while others believed that it was too much. Their daughter Chantel Christie was at the center of this family dynamic. On the outside, she seemed to be the ideal fit for the Christie brand. She was always neatly dressed, considerate, and supportive of her parents' relationship. Nobody knew about the pressure that went along with growing up in a house where perfection was enforced. Chantel wore the mask of the perfect Christie daughter for years. She steered clear of drama, maintained the family's morals, and never did anything to destroy the flawless illusion her parents had labored so difficult to do. Though as she grew older, things started to shift. She began taking professional steps that weren't always aligned with the Christie brand. She showed that she had aspirations. Beyond being known as Doug and Jackie's daughter by taking opportunities beyond her parents' sphere, due to Jackie's huge presence in every aspect of their lives. This wasn't a smooth transition, but Chantel's start to pull away, especially from her mother, was the strongest sign that things weren't running as smoothly as they seemed. Jackie had always been the loudest voice in the family, but Chantel began to make her own path and escape from her mother's tight grip on their house. She began to quietly express her opinions and feelings that did not fit with the happy, idealized family image. Then the cryptic internet messages began to emerge. Chantal would post things that hinted at trouble behind the scenes. While she never explicitly called out her parents, the tone of her posts caused people to question, was she trying to tell us something? Was she having difficulty acclimating to the Christie family's guidelines? The interview subsequently occurred. Disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes me ill. She said some things that actually hurt my feelings as a mother for years. Chantel Christie fulfilled her part as the supportive daughter of Doug and Jackie Christie, never publicly speaking in on what life was like backstage. But then something shifted. The Christie family was taken aback when Chantel granted an interview. She hinted for the first time that life in her household wasn't so easy as it seemed. The things she said showed that there were fundamental faults in the perfect Christie image. Although she did not explicitly criticize her parents, she discussed the strict rules and lofty standards she had to meet as a child. She had to always fit her parents' meticulously built brand because she grew up in a home where their wedding was the center of everything. There was not room for mistakes or personal preferences. Whether Chantel wished it or not, she had to move in a certain way because every decision she made had to reflect positively on the Christie name. The most surprising thing, though, was her suggestion that she had let her own concept of love be shaped by the strong relationship between her parents in a way that hadn't always coded. She recognized that it had the impact to cause her to have a different sense about interpersonal relations, that she intimated, having a difficult time keeping independent and duty, a quality inculcated in her as a small child. And so she issued the comments going that seemed to challenge her type of authority from mother, which easily led others to react. Pay attention, she didn't directly mention Jackie, but it was clear from what she spoke that she had been inspired by someone who held sway over all areas of family dynamic for years. The internet lost its mind when she made the decision to break away from that. Fans soon picked up on the subtle and began voicing their opinion. Someone stated, "Chantel has been keeping this in for years. You can tell she's now free to say what she's thinking, and Doug and Jackie can't cope." Doug losing his temper like this just proves Chantel hit a nerve. Said another, "What's really happening behind closed doors?" But the biggest question was, why weren't Doug and Jackie answering? Doug Christie had always been seen as the level-headed one. He kept his own business to himself and let Jackie deal with any drama that happened this time. However, he lost it, according to sources. Doug was enraged after hearing Chantel's interview. It wasn't only what she stated, it was the fact that she stated it in public. He was angered that his daughter had brought their values, specifically the loyalty on which he and Jackie had built their marriage, and felt betrayed that she would bring their family's intimate issues out into the public. Then, without anyone knowing, he dropped a bomb here because you included the friend into the picture. So I simply want you to tell me, face to face, that it was the friend that although Doug Christie's reaction to Chantel's interview was previously powerful, his astonishing revelation and his exasperation was what really shocked everyone. Not just upset that his daughter had spoken out, but he was also holding on to something much deeper that had been debated on whispers for years, and he let slip in that tense moment. What exactly did Doug reveal? Then, did his wedding come into play? Was it his so-called devotion to Jackie, or was it something deeper? There was something not anticipated of his relationship with Chantel. Based on individuals close to the situation, Doug unveiled an agonizing reality that had been gagged for years. All that individuals thought to be real regarding the Christian family changed. When a truth was unveiled, some individuals believe that it was connected to the turmoil Chantel faced as a kid, which may have verified that she wasn't always happy with the environment her parents had created. Some think Doug may have referenced a deeper family rift that had been brewing for years. The worst part, however, is that when Doug called out Chantel, she didn't apologize back down or try to make amends. Instead, she gave him a reality check so harsh that it reportedly left him speechless. Chantel supposedly informed Doug that she was sick of living by their rules since she had lived her whole life by them and had never truly had her own voice. She made it clear that she was no longer the same obedient daughter, and that in spite of her parents' discomfort, she was not afraid to voice her opinion. Doug, who had always been the quiet, tough type, was lost for words. The dynamics of the whole Christie family have now been totally turned around, and for the first time he was losing control of the situation. Have this castle and this man and this blended family, go fix it, go fix dinner. Why are you here? What comes next? Is the big question now that Doug has finally spoken up. Is this the beginning of a long-term conflict between Chantel and Doug? After everything that has been said, will their relationship ever get better? And what about Jackie? She dislikes losing control. If that's one thing people know about her, will she try to take back control of the story? Now that Doug and Chanel have made their issues public, or even more ridiculous, is this just the tip of the iceberg? What else could be hidden under the surface if Doug uncovered just one secret in a panic? Are there any other family secrets that could be exposed? There is no doubt that this drama is not yet over, and I will keep on following this story closely to make sure you don't miss any updates on the latest celebrity. To be sure to like, share, and subscribe.